me to change, they want me to change, but I ain't changing, nah. I remain the same.
And you are now tuned into another episode of Intellectually Petty Radio, brought to you in conjunction with A Beautiful Machine magazine and the mighty, mighty, mighty Nerd DJs Radio Network. Y'all already know, man, we only rock with legends around here week after week, month after month, year after year, and today is absolutely no exception. This queen got her start and I'm reading the bio because it's so fucking phenomenal. I could not possibly remember all of this. I'm just an old fat dude in the basement, so I'm limited in the memory department. But shout out to the Queen Amber Smith. She got her start as a researcher on the Today Show before falling for audio. She's worn a lot of hats in the podcast world. Producer, Sirius XM, partnerships with Sirius and Pandora, head of audience development for Slate and iHeart's podcast catalog, and she is now the director of content strategy growth at Hyman Health. Miss Amber, one of the best human beings to ever hit the galaxy. How are you doing, Queen?
What an intro. One of the best human beings. Wow.
I try. I've been working on it.
I'll take it. Happy to be here.
So, how's life? How's your family?
Honestly, life is really good. Life is great. I just started the role at Hyman Health. I have a son. His name is Marley. He's 5 and he starts kindergarten next week. Yeah. I don't got too much to complain about now. Everything that's keeping me busy is all a blessing. So good problems.
I know. We were talking a little bit earlier. I said I wanted to talk about motherhood.
Yeah.
And the reason I did specifically with you is because you shared on your Instagram the process.
Mm-hmm.
And not too many mothers are willing to be that open.
Yeah, we can talk about it. We can definitely talk about it. Motherhood is, I think I'm unique in a way that motherhood has given me, I think, more confidence than I've ever had. And it's also elevated my life in ways that I don't think I ever could have done, could have imagined without the process. And for me, I think that process started, in pregnancy, but like also birth. I had a really crazy birth experience, pretty traumatic. Black women in America statistically have some rough birth outcomes. And I unfortunately fall into that statistic. I'm very, very lucky to be alive. Wow. But I had like 33 hours of natural labor, then a very complicated C-section. I lost like half the blood in my body. It was pretty rough. So after that, I was just like, you can't fuck with me. Honestly, like, who I'm gonna be intimidated by? Like, you really can't fuck with me. I'm still here.
So let me ask you this though.
Yeah.
When you first found out for a fact you were pregnant, your first thought and the first person you told?
It was unplanned at the time. I definitely was like, fuck. I've
been there.
I was like, I've got plans. I was engaged. I was planning a wedding. I was interviewing for a VP position at a media company. I was just like, not the timing in my mind. So I was pretty shook up by it. But I was also in a place in life where it's like, well, you all right? Like, you're 30, you're employed, you're engaged, like, it's okay. And the first person I told was my fiance at the time.
That's an exciting, scary time.
Yeah, and for sure. And then, halfway through my pregnancy, COVID hit, which was a blessing and a curse at the same time. A blessing in that I got to be home and not have to like go into an office every day. A curse in that it was COVID, and that time was really, really stressful for everybody. And, I couldn't always have my partner with me at appointments or things like that. So it was definitely tough in some ways. But also a blessing in some ways that I didn't have to like jump right back into going to work and being in an office. Everything was kind of remote thereafter, which I don't think I could have parented like I wanted to if that wasn't the case.
Hardest thing about parenting?
Wow. I think probably the hardest thing consistently is I don't think anything is a more all-consuming than parenthood, and nothing
Mhm.
really triggers your old wounds and, like, things that brings up things that need to be healed in you like
Mm.
parenthood. So I think, honestly, the self-work and the self-reflection required to be the type of parent that I wanna be, um, is a lot of work. I mean, and you don't get any days off, right? Like, it's not easy. I may make it look cute and make it look easy, but, like, it's not easy. Long day of work after a long, just a tough day, like, you still have to go home and parent,
Yeah.
like, so that's the tough part.
Like I've all my children are grown at this point,
Uh-huh.
but the worry never goes away.
Oh god, yeah. Yeah.
And especially I think this is very a very undervalued perception about men of
Mm,
adult children is we are defined our whole lives by what we do.
mm.
And when your children no longer need you, they take a part of your you.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And that's difficult to get used to.
Wow. Are you a grandparent?
I am.
Well, what has that transition been like for you? Like, what's that relationship like? How is that similar or different than you have with your own kids?
It just depends proximity wise. Like
Mhm.
I've got two grandchildren that live in California
Mhm.
that I don't see that very
Yeah.
rarely.
Yeah.
I've got other children, grandchildren in Michigan.
Yeah.
And even them, like it just depends on the other dynamics.
Mhm.
But it's generally speaking, it's first off, I am responsible. I can send your ass home. Beautiful.
Yeah, that's the best part. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely beautiful. But when I go over my daughter's house and my granddaughters run up to me and
Mhm.
give me a hug and scream "Papa,"
Mhm.
there is not a better feeling on the planet.
Aw. I bet, like, and for me, like, I mean, I left home at 17 for college and, never looked back, but when I had my son, that's when I really needed my parents, and they showed up in a really, really big way.
Mm,
Um, I live in Philadelphia. I'm from California. My parents were in California at the time, and they were retired, so they actually sold their house in California and moved to Philadelphia so I could have community, and we live in the same neighborhood. So they are such an everyday part of my life, and it hadn't been that way for like 15 plus years. So
mm,
I'm so reliant on them, but our relationship is so different obviously now than when I was
yeah.
a kid versus being an adult with their own child. But yeah, it's such an interesting thing because I wonder how they feel about it too, like, because I know I'm still their kid, right? That's why they did all this for me. But yeah, it's such a privilege. I have such deep respect and gratitude for my parents in this stage of life that I don't think I have ever really had or experienced before.
Because you don't get them until you become them.
Yeah. Yeah. And even like watching their relationship with my son, like that's like seeing when my dad walks through the door and my son calls him Poppy, like, running and saying Poppy, Poppy, or us being on a walk and seeing my mom, who he calls Grammy, and like sprinting,
Yeah.
is really special. It's
Yeah.
really special.
Yo, the village is like, man, people be missing out. I just don't get it. I thought about their lives when they were born,
Yeah.
and it's been fucking dope to just see. Except for my one daughter, because it was during COVID, I could not be there. But I've
Yeah.
been there for my other two daughters, their first kids. I'm there.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I
Yeah.
can't be there for all you. You start having more than me, you don't know. But but it's just been the milestones that I've been able to share with them as adults.
Aw.
And the conversations we have, like now I can call
Yeah.
them up and talk about my fucked up ways.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And it's okay. They
Right.
understand I'm a person now.
Exactly. Your parents become people, like real people with past, with lives, with struggles, with strengths, weaknesses,
Yo.
all that stuff. Yeah. And that's a really beautiful part, I think, about the adult relationship that you get to experience with your kids too.
Although it fucks you up a little bit at first.
Oh.
Yeah, because some of the shit your parents did, it wasn't always flattering.
Well.
And then you'd be like, oh, wow, Mom's really was with the shit, huh, back then. Okay, she did what? All right, well, Pops was that guy, huh? It's just... Okay, so...
Very true. Very true. Very true.
Why podcasting?
Why? Honestly, I kind of fell into it. It wasn't something I kind of sought out or anything. I was working at the Today Show. I graduated from LSU. I got a master's in journalism, and I'm like, bam, Today Show. I'm living the dream, right? This is like 2015, and I am a researcher on the breaking news and politics team. So this is like the Trump and Hillary election. And strangely, during that year, there's a lot of terror attacks too. And in my position, I'm like editing what people are going to see on the news when it comes to politics or breaking news stories. Like I'm deciding what you get to see and what you don't get to see.
Are you serious?
At the Today Show, yes. So it was really rough. It was one of those jobs where like your job is your life. Like it was 14 to 16-hour days every day. Like you don't really have a life outside of this. And it was a very intense environment. And so I was just like, okay, this is not the dream. Get me up out of here. This is not the dream. This is not what I thought. Right. So SiriusXM slid in my LinkedIn DMs, and they were building out their podcast team and building out what they were wanting podcasts to be at the time. And I was like, oh yeah, I love podcasts. Yeah, I'm with it. So faked it till I made it through that interview.
Not mad at that.
No, not at all. Never. Like I want to stress to people, do not be afraid to try something new or do something that you have never, don't have any experience in. All my experience was in broadcast media, not in audio. And definitely a podcast was completely new to me then.
And your resume is a piece of art. Paint it the way you see fit.
Thank you. Thank you. God is good. That's all I will have to say about that. God is good. God is good. So yeah, I went through that process. They had a podcast product back then called Spoke. I was creating news content for it. I had the first show, like podcast that they ever greenlit, called Informed with Amber. So that was really fun. It was like a quick 5-minute daily podcast. I like caught you up on the news really quick. So I did that. At the time, they didn't really kind of know where they wanted to take podcasting. So I decided to kind of flip it and go to the business side of the industry because I didn't see anyone who looked like me in the business side, right? There's tons of people who look like me on the creative end. So that's when I got into partnerships, and partnerships was amazing. So I brokered all like the partnership deals to bring networks content onto the SiriusXM and Pandora app. So with NPR, Wondery, WNYC, all the big podcast networks, I managed those partnerships and like made sure all their content got onto our app. So that was an incredible position that really like blew up my network. And that's my superpower. Relationships are my superpower. So that's honestly where I really learned how to shine, and also understood the business side of the industry, understood how money was made, how deals were made, how shows made money, how networks made money, how platforms made money. So that was an extremely important, like really pivotal point in my career. And that's also, I was at SiriusXM when I had my son.
Okay.
And after I had my son, I was ready to grow. Just really ready to grow again and do something different, try something different. And I decided to kind of jump into marketing. And that's what the audience development piece is of my career. So I did that for Slate, which produces really, really amazing content. And then from Slate, I went to iHeart.
So I'm sorry, but
no, slow me down. I'm going. So yeah, stop me.
What's audience development mean?
So audience development, great question. Audience development is really just a fancy word for marketing. It's like, how do you, if you have a show, how do you grow an audience for it? How do you get the content to its people?
Okay.
And so, yeah, that was my role there. So my role at Slate and iHeart was really, once we have this new show that we want to launch, I'm building the marketing strategy to build an audience for that show. So I'm thinking about who are we making this show for?
Okay.
What are they already listening to? Where are they when they're not listening, and how to kind of get in front of them, in front of their eyes and ears, to kind of present them with like this new content that I think, will be a good fit for them. So yeah, so that was my job at iHeart. And iHeart, I worked with branded content. So shows and content that are sponsored by really big brands, which is a whole other kind of world there. But
How do you get look, I've been doing this for over a decade.
mhm,
I am just again an old fat nigga in my basement, but I got a
mhm.
fancy sign now.
So fancy,
I have
gorgeous.
man, I bled for that sign. However, I have interviewed, I got a resume, it's just crazy from
Yeah,
Malcolm Jamal Warner to Dr.
yeah.
Umar.
Uh-huh.
And I'm broke.
Well,
How do I fix that?
whoo. Well, I
And,
know
and
that.
I'm sexy, I might add.
Oh,
At
meow.
least at least with the hat.
Sex sells. Well, I mean, I would have to. I mean, we could have an entire consulting call, but I mean, I would ask, where are you distributing your show? Is it solely on YouTube? Do you have it on audio platforms as well? What is your marketing plan? And and then really think about who you're making this show for.
Mhm.
Who's your audience? If you've been doing this for a decade, then you have a built-in audience, right? Do you know who they are? Do you know their makeup? Do you know who is listening to your show? And when you can think about who's your audience, then think
Mhm.
about brands that match that audience and how you pitch to them.
Mm.
And then you can do like either sponsored content or branded content. You can, develop an entire episode around, like, for example, if you wanted to work like pie in the sky, if you want to work with Delta, you could do an entire episode series around travel and then have Delta sponsor that. But you got to make sure that like Delta is trying to reach whoever your target audience is. So I think the thing with a lot of independent podcasters is they create content for the love of the content, right? Without
And
having that bigger strategy in mind of like, who am I making this content for?
I have no strategy.
Well,
I just try to talk to dope people about dope shit.
which is amazing. That is amazing. But if you're like, okay, I'm ready to like really get serious about this and make this be an income maker for
Mhm.
me, or really I want to grow my audience and grow my influence, you got to have a strategy.
Well, but what I have come up with is that over the years, there's kind of like I got like an outline of different shows. I got
Mhm.
these shows geared to this audience. I got 100 shows. These
Uh-huh.
shows geared to that audience. I got 100 shows. So at this point, I have the resources to match the strategy.
Okay.
Oh, that
And
was
you gotta
dope.
just build. Then you
Write
gotta
that
build.
shit
You gotta
down.
build a strategy out. Are you
Oh,
on? And then like, is YouTube your primary platform, or are you on other
Facebook is probably my primary platform.
Facebook? Okay.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
how do people follow your show? They just follow the Facebook page.
hmm
Okay.
And I'm at like 186,000 now.
Amazing.
I know, right?
Amazing. Yeah, that's
I
incredible.
know. There's a couple people that actually listen to me. I'm not sure why.
You can monetize that 180,000. You can most definitely monetize
They
that.
keep telling me that, and I mean, it's a whole. Anyway, I'm sorry. I don't want to go too wrapped up in my selfish
No,
endeavor.
I think this is a good conversation because a lot of independent creators who want to really to build the income and build the business from their content
Mhm.
don't have the resources, or no one's really had this conversation with them. So it's an important one to have, and I think it's valuable for anyone who's looking to create content, is like really having that strategy piece of really thinking critically about, who am I making this for, and what brands could I work with that match that audience of who I'm making this content for.
Yeah, I'm old. I'm probably work with Depends. Hell,
Well,
I'll wear the fucking brief during the show. What do you?
hello.
It's like, what we doing here? Okay, I'm
I'll
lying.
need a bathroom break. Hey,
I
I
would
got
do
my
that
Depends.
one.
Do what you
When-
gotta do.
when you can't stop the
Depends money is still
podcast.
green.
When you can't
Depends
stop
money
the
is still
podcast,
green.
but you really have to go.
Mhm.
No, I'm not doing that. But that will be funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did you transition to the health aspect?
Oh man, so this current role is really a dream, and it's really a culmination of my professional expertise and my personal interests.
Mhm.
So outside of podcasting and what I do, like professional everyday life, like I am a trained herbalist. I've studied herbalism for 3 years, trained under master herbalists in Brooklyn. I'm a trained doula, a birth doula. So health and wellness is something that's really important to me and really important to me when I think about community, because health is for everyone. Health is wealth. Health is community care. So this current position that I'm in, I get to kind of marry all of that knowledge together. With Hyman Health, I work on Dr. Hyman, the Dr. Hyman Show. And Dr. Mark Hyman is like a trailblazing functional medicine doctor who just his platform is really incredible and really informative, and their mission with that platform is to have like social impact, is to get information to people, people and resources about their health so that they can really be the CEO of their health and their family's health, like to really have ownership over your physical body and your wellness, whether that's just like normal kind of physical functional wellness, whether that's longevity. How do we age, not just age gracefully, but age in strength, not age to just, crumble, but
Mm.
really build strategies for longevity and living well. How is food medicine? How are we nourishing our bodies for them to be able to carry us to do all the things that we want to do?
I'm
How are we
driving.
spiritually? Because our spiritual life is reflected in our
Mhm.
physical health as well.
Trash.
How are we processing the traumas that happen to us? Are we getting those things out of our body, because those things can make us sick? So yeah, this new role, I'm the director of content strategy and growth for that particular show and platform, and that's been incredible because as director of content strategy, I get to kind of build out what kind of content we want to create,
Mhm.
and what audiences, how can we grow our audience to have even a larger impact than what we already currently do.
Biggest concern in our community, health wise.
Whew. I don't have like the stats on this, so don't quote me, but like the things that I've studied a lot are have to do with women's health
Mhm.
and birth.
Mhm.
And so I think that, our birth outcomes in the US are huge. Our female, like 8 out of 10 Black women have fibroids or struggle with fibroids. And it's a
Intentional.
national health, it's a national health crisis.
Yes.
It's something that's not really addressed. I mean, women's health in general, it's much harder to get addressed and get covered. And a lot of things about our bodies and our systems are so misunderstood. So I think that's one of our biggest hurdles and challenges now is like healthy mothers, healthy babies, healthy women. I think another one is heart disease, diabetes, all these things that are so
Mhm.
easily controlled with diet. But, diet is political. Diet is super political, because how can we nourish our bodies when we live in food deserts?
Oh
How are we able to nourish our bodies well when we, can't, like, healthy food is maybe sometimes unaffordable or unavailable to us? Like, how do we change people's options
my.
and people's mindset around it? And how are we nourishing our kids from the start? I mean, the first 5 years of life set up your entire gut microbiome, so it's
Mm.
like, how are we nourishing our babies? And I think the statistics for breastfeeding are really, really stark. Like, Black mothers are given formula way more than white mothers in hospitals, less
Mhm.
like breastfeeding help. And breastfeeding is really fucking hard. So, like, no judgment if you can't do it, but like,
You were pretty public about that.
yeah,
About
it's one of the
breastfeeding.
hardest things I've ever done. Being responsible for nourishing an entire human being from your own body. It's one of the hardest things I have ever done. People think, oh, it comes natural or it's so easy. No, that shit is fucking hard.
Okay, so
Hard.
from an aspect of the dietary changes you made,
Yeah.
knowing that you were nursing,
Yeah.
what was the most difficult for you?
Oh, I mean, nursing period, like understanding like the challenge of like having a child attached to your body and having that all go right, having your body make enough milk. That's
Mhm.
one thing. My baby also struggled with acid reflux, so I had to
Mm.
completely change my diet so that he could be well. I couldn't eat dairy, I couldn't eat eggs, I couldn't have caffeine, which as a new mom is really, really challenging. Like, I had to completely change my diet. It was a really, really deep sacrifice for me to be able to nurse, and then really like a blessing for me to be able to nurse as long as I did. And a lot of that was because like I was in COVID as well. I didn't have to jump back into the office or jump back to work. And I was able to really work on these things.
So what exactly a doula? Is that
Mhm.
like a midwife?
So a doula is not a midwife. A midwife actually like performs births and like medical things surrounding birth. A doula is a support system for a mom. They're an advocate. So they're helping you move through labor. They're helping you stick to your birth plan, whatever that is. They're advocating for you if you're in a hospital setting. Yeah. So they're doing kind of all those things. They understand all the phases of birth and are able to walk mothers through those things. They're also able to help postpartum with nutrition, with belly binding, if that's something you do. So with recovery, some mothers can get some are able to help with breastfeeding if they're certified in that. But yeah, they just kind of help a woman go through the pre and postpartum period.
Scariest part postpartum wise.
Oh shit. Postpartum is, I mean, like birth is a lot, right? But postpartum is really um a lot of work, especially if you don't have, I don't think people realize how much support you need. And I
Mhm.
think in the US, a lot of times we are struggling with postpartum and like alone, you're in a silo, right? It's just you and the baby or you and your partner, and like a baby is more than a two-person job. It just is. You need a lot of support. So I think the toughest part about being postpartum, I think, is the lack of sleep. I don't think people really think about how intensely that affects
Oh
your mental health, your mood,
man.
everything. Like you're going months without sleeping through the night. Or and sleep training isn't for everybody, like so it's, I don't think my son didn't sleep through the night for the first 2 years, so yeah, and that has a tremendous effect on your mental health, on your capabilities, on everything. So
Man.
I think, yeah, I mean, especially if you're healing from something like a C-section, like I was, that's another thing. Like I didn't really feel at home in my body again for like 5-6 months. That's a major surgery, that you go through. So postpartum can be really challenging, and I wish that the US had more resources and more help for women. There are some countries in Europe and the UK
Mhm.
where women go home with a nurse for the first 6 weeks. In Scotland, my brother lives in Scotland. They get a huge baby box full of all supplies for the baby. Like there's just so much more support for mothers and families
Mhm.
in other countries. So we have a rough over here. America's the ghetto.
It
Um,
is. We
yeah,
don't want to admit that shit. But,
yeah,
we've been drinking the Kool-Aid for years. It's the greatest place
yeah.
in the world.
Yeah, we don't even have, legally mandated maternity leave for women. Rwanda has better maternity laws than the US.
Yo.
Mhm.
Shout out to Rwanda.
Shout out to
Um,
Rwanda.
wait. What is it? Spirit Dweller?
You're going off my Instagram.
I did.
Yes. Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
a spirit dweller?
I think it's just a cute way to say that I'm like a deeply spiritual person.
I thought it was some shit. I'm like, oh,
You
I,
know,
I need to know. Right. I'm thinking you like just develop some way to morph into somebody
no,
else's.
no, it just means
I
I'm a
need the
little.
antidote. I mean the secret. I need the
Yeah,
sauce.
nah, I'm just a little woo woo. I'm a little woo woo. I'm all into the woo woo things, and honestly, they pay off for me. So I'm very
Oh
much
my
into
god.
the metaphysical, the woo woo, and the spiritual world. Yeah.
Okay, so my arteries absolutely shot 5 years ago. Heart surgery, the whole nine. From
Mhm.
an herbalist standpoint, what would be best for me?
Well, before we even talk about herbs, I think you talk about your diet and your
Trash,
sleep and
trash.
well, that's where you start. That's what would be best for you.
Well, I can't. Yo, I can go to sleep like right now. I can just
You can knock
and
out. Okay, so sleep is good. You sleep well.
no, I
Oh,
don't. I fall asleep
oh,
now. I the stay
okay.
asleep part is horrible because I'm gonna wake up at 2 or 3
Mhm.
o'clock in the morning and then I just be looking.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes, I just
So
be
yeah,
up.
sleep I think is something that we don't think of as importantly as we do, especially in hustle culture. Like, I don't need to sleep. I'm gonna sleep 4 hours and I'm ready. I'm out. And that's not really the best for us, because when we sleep, that's our body's natural detox time.
Mhm.
So when you're interrupting that system of detoxifying your body, when you sleep, you're disrupting your body, cleansing itself of toxins. So
Mhm.
sleep is super important to feeling well. It's also super important for your mental health, all these things. So insomnia is it's a really tough struggle.
Yeah.
And I think, a way to combat that, some easy steps to combat that, is really having a routine. Like, do I have a bedtime routine? Are you going to bed at the same time? Are you stopping drinking caffeine? After 12, you shouldn't have caffeine after 12. Like, do you have ways to wind down? There are
Like
tons of
after
herbs that
12, like in the afternoon?
Yes, yes.
Oh
Like, are we
shit.
cutting if you're waking up through the night, that means your nervous system is not, prepped for rest, right?
Okay.
So it's like, how are you prepping yourself for rest? Are you having screens in your room? Like, are you scrolling? Do you have a TV on? Like, do a meditation maybe before you go to sleep. Have like a nice like nightcap of like chamomile or a little CBD, or a little, whatever you need to like calm your nervous system down and let your body know it's time for sleep. A lot of people, I think more than half of people, don't quote me on these stats because I did my research beforehand, but like the majority of people are low on magnesium. And magnesium is essential for sleep. So that's something that's really easy to incorporate into your diet with like a supplement. There's a powder called Calm. That's a great one. Sometimes if I'm having trouble sleeping or like my nervous system is off, I'll just use that Calm
Mhm.
in a cup of water before bed, and I'll have incredible sleep. So sometimes you're just like a little bit nutrient deficient in certain
Mhm.
things that are keeping your body in an alert place.
Yeah, it should be. And then, like, the last pill they gave me to help me sleep, you
Mm.
like, I don't have the nightmares every night, but when I have nightmares on that shit be cinematic and epic, and I just be stuck. Like,
Not
oh,
cinematic and epic. It'd be a movie in there.
oh, it's the fucked up kind too. This is
I'm
horrible.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh my god, you don't
Are
want
those,
to.
when you say the pills that they gave you, are those like pharmaceutical, like something prescribed
Yes,
by the doctor?
yes,
So
absolutely.
one thing that I love about Hyman Health and working with Dr. Hyman is it's functional medicine is root cause medicine. So it's not just treating a symptom, it's
Mhm.
treating the root cause of why this is happening to you, or why you are, losing sleep. So when you're like, "Oh, I can't sleep," and they just give you a sleeping pill, that's not treating the root cause of like what's keeping you awake. Like I said, like
Mhm.
it could be a magnesium deficiency. You could just be a little deficient in certain nutrients and your body is unable to rest, or your nervous system is unable to calm down. So like it's super important to kind of like think through things when you have an issue, like what is the root of this versus like what little pill or band-aid can I put over this symptom, but why am I having this symptom?
Mm. Okay, so this is a question that I ask everybody that comes on the show. Has
Okay.
absolutely nothing to do with anything. However,
Okay.
here goes. You're sitting on a park bench, and
Mhm.
God sits down next to you, and
Mhm.
he or she says you can ask them one question. What would it be?
Mm. Ooh.
That's perfect breathing, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
If I could ask God one question, um,
Mm, 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 mm.
see, you should have prepped me for this one. That's a big one. Gosh, if I could ask God one question.
I know, right? Although, why do we have a colon? Why is that necessary?
Why do we have a colon? Now that is a
Yeah.
hold on now. You twisting up my brain. First, I'm supposed to be thinking about what I'm gonna ask the Lord and why we got a colon. We got a
That might be my
colon.
question. That might be my
Oh, that
question.
might be your why we poop.
Yes. Out of all the, like, we sweat anyway. Like, first off, why do we need to, you could have designed this where we don't really need to, we use up everything internally and don't need to excrete anything.
I don't know.
You,
I don't know.
you
Taking
got
really
you,
good shit is really spiritually um fulfilling, I think.
you got
I think it's
spiritual
good.
shit.
Well, I mean, when you really let that shit go, like you're letting that shit go, like you're getting that shit out of your body. And sometimes that shit has been up there stuck, especially if you don't have like you ain't pooping every day, like you got a lot of shit stuck up in there. And so it could be, really spiritually fulfilling to just let that go.
Oh, you know what? I will say, the older you get, I used to think old people was crazy. Like, why do you care that you haven't shit in 2 days? They're absolutely right. The older you get, the more you appreciate a quality number 2.
Okay. Yeah. That's a huge marker of health. Is your colon motility, which is how often and how healthy your poops are. You want to be like think about everything you eat during the day. After your body pulls the nutrients out of that, you don't want that sitting in your body. You don't want that sitting in your colon.
You don't like, and I know that I'm no expert or no shit, but you see it all over the internet. How much of this is in your colon, how much of that is in your colon. What's the healthiest? Is there a healthy colon diet?
Oh, of course. I mean, a healthy colon diet is a healthy diet, period. So that means you're getting your right amount of fiber. That means, you have the right balance of good bacteria in your gut. That's, eating your fermented foods, eating your yogurt, having your probiotics, your prebiotics. Like I said, having good fiber, all those things are helping you have a healthy colon. But I think, okay, let me go back to the question about the Lord.
Okay.
So I think if I was sitting on a park bench next to God, I would ask, what happens to my soul when we die? Like, where do we go? Like, what is that journey? Mm-hmm. What's that journey look like? Where do we go? Do we come back? Or is reincarnation real? Which I think it is. But like, just, to confirm some of these things.
Okay, you can come back, but you can't come back as a human.
Okay. What would I decide to come back as?
Yes.
A fairy.
Like the flying, like Peter Pan type fairy, or
she was a fairy. Yeah.
Why a fairy?
Because why not? Like, being human is overrated anyway. So, like, why would I not be a magical little fairy dancing around in the forest or some shit?
Oh, I'd
be a fairy. That sounds cute. That sounds like a really.
I know it sounds cute, but it doesn't sound very safe.
Okay, well, if I had to be like an animal and not like a magical creature, I would probably be a cat to like a really, really wealthy family. Because then I could just like do my thing, nap, play in the sun, get fed really well. Be like, you can pet me, but not too much. Not too much of that. Like, I just feel like being a cat to a really, really wealthy family would be.
That's not a bad look.
No.
That's not. Although I think a dog to a really wealthy family would be like infinitely better.
I don't know, because dogs aren't as independent as cats.
Yeah, but they get treated so much better.
I don't think so. I think like the cat of a wealthy woman.
Oh, yeah. They got little shit.
My fancy feast, they probably making me salmon and shit. Like, I'm laying out in the sun. I got cute little toys, but they don't really mess with me too much. If I'm a dog, I gotta be, like all in their face. Walk me. You don't gotta walk the cat. Like, you don't gotta walk me. I could do my thing. Like they're very clean. Like, if I want affection, I can come like, purr or sit by you. And then when I don't, like, I can chill.
It is a pretty free for all type of situation. You do what the fuck you want to do when you're a cat.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the expectation. I'm not mad at that one. Although it seems really lonely and boring. And they just kill people. They just kill things just for the sport of killing things. They're like fucking serial killer-ish. I don't know.
Well, maybe I think they kill rodents and things, so they actually play.
But they don't eat them. They just kill them for sport.
No, but like, who want a mouse in their house? Nobody. So I got you, boo. I got you.
Oh. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Okay, so $1 billion or immortality?
$1 billion. I don't want to live forever.
I don't either.
No, I'm good.
I'm good. Because I'm kind of romantic.
Oh,
and you would lose your ability to love.
you think if you were immortal, you would lose your ability to love?
Absolutely. Yes.
Wow. Huh.
Because you're so accustomed to everything dying on you that you can't appreciate the finality of death anymore.
Huh. Interesting. Interesting perspective.
Why have I thought about that so deeply? I don't know. It creeps me out a little bit too. However,
No, these are fun things to ponder on. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, everybody you would have to witness everybody you love die, in repeated cycles. So
yes.
that makes sense to me. That's yeah. Give me the Billy.
And plus, if you live forever and you're not worth $1 billion at some point, you are a waste of fucking space.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm gonna live 800 years and not be rich, bruh.
Yeah, you gotta have figured it out by then.
Like, I'm absolutely Batman.
You gotta have figured it out by then. Yeah.
What biggest celebrity that you've met?
Biggest celebrity that I've met?
Mhm.
Hmm. I went to school in LA, so I feel like I've met a lot of celebrities. I mean, my favorite, I would say, well, because I work with her, is Jill Scott.
I cried a
Yeah,
little bit.
you all right? You all
Yeah.
right?
I
Yeah, you okay?
got a huge thing for Jill Scott.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you should. Everybody
Oh
should. She's
my
amazing.
God,
Yeah.
man. She just makes me want to like chant some shit and put on a
Mm,
dashiki.
Jilly from Philly. And
Oh
she's
my,
exactly who you think she is. She's
is she?
incredible. She's an incredible person and an incredible friend and an incredible artist.
Oh, like, okay. So, what's she smell like?
Good. With a T.
If you ever bored, Queen Scott. My old lady already knows. Like Jill Scott. It's going down. Like I'm risking it all, baby.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, I'll say that you have very good taste. Very good taste.
She just gives you every aspect of a black woman in a very classy form.
She is sunshine. So I'm right there with you. She is sunshine.
Give me one woman over history that dead or alive that you love to talk to for an hour.
Would I love to talk to for an hour? This this my nerd is gonna show. Um but honestly, I'm like, which one? I'm probably gonna go with Hagar from the Bible. And I say that because her story is so incredible. Like you know, the entire Islamic religion is based around this woman and her prayers and what she did. I'm a kind of like a religion nerd. I'm not a religious person, but I'm a religious nerd. And like, so the
Okay.
Abrahamic religions, which are Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, they all spread from Abraham, right? And Hagar was sent into the desert with her son Isaac, and they had run out of water, and she was praying and praying and praying, and God opened up a well. And in that place where God opened up a well, that's basically, I might get this wrong, but that's basically like where Mecca is, and all of these Islamic holy sites are literally because of this woman, and she was a Black woman and a slave. And I would just like, I don't even,
Mm.
yeah, I don't know. I think about her a lot. I think about her a lot. She was a single mother, like banished and had nothing, and just the power of what God did through her um,
Mm.
is really incredible. And I think about what God can do through any of us. in our best moments and in our most desperate moments if we allow him to, or allow her to, or however you want to engage with
You
your
know,
higher power. Yeah.
the story of Job,
Hmm.
and people have been calling me Jobs for decades at this point,
Hmm. Yeah.
but it just always struck me as similar, and it always bothered me in that God bet on this nigga
Hmm. Hmm.
and ruined it. And people say, well, God gave him twice as much of this. You can't give me another wife that is equal to the other one. You
Hmm.
can't replace the children I lost.
Hmm.
You can give me more children, but
Hmm.
the hole in my heart never heals.
That's that. I don't ever want to go through what Job went through. Mm-mm.
And I
Mm-mm.
just couldn't understand
Yeah.
the
The
point.
point.
When
Yeah.
you all knowing and you know that this guy is hella faithful already. It was just, and I guess from a a teachable moment standpoint, your faith will guide you through anything and you will be rewarded in the end, but you can't replace those losses.
No, and I think that the Bible is a really complicated text, right? So sometimes things don't make sense to us for a really long time, and they may never. I mean, it was edited heavily by King James. We read his version. A lot of women were taken out
Man,
of the Bible and their stories and the divinity of women. So it's who I don't know. I don't know. I'm with you there. It's a hard one to kind of understand and stomach. So I'm with you. I think we also have to read and understand the Bible in context of the time period, which
which
can
is
be
all over the place. It's like how many different hundreds of years does the Bible take
yeah,
place?
right. But it's biblical times, AD and stuff. So like it just we have to understand culture in that time in that context in which these
Mhm.
things were written. Like, yeah, 2025 Amber can't 2025 jobs can't relate, can't like what what? So, sometimes I think it's just hard for us to really understand or fathom any of
Mhm.
those things. Yeah, and
I don't talk
don't
about the
desire
Bible
to.
much. What, what was your fascination with religion without being religious?
I think the way that I grew up in a very like religiously open household.
Mhm.
And so I think I just God is really big to me, and I don't think there's one way to connect to God or understand God. And so just understanding how different people in different cultures um, relate to God, relate to spirituality, relate to divinity has really I think expanded my world and my
Really?
understanding. Mhm. I think there's beautiful parts of Buddhism. I think there's beautiful parts of Islam. I think there's beautiful parts of Christianity. I think there's beautiful parts of Hinduism. Like I think there's some like, and a lot of it, beautiful parts of Judaism. I think everyone's kind of saying the same thing in different ways.
That
And that,
part.
yeah, like everyone's pretty much saying the same thing in different ways, and they have different ways of speaking and connecting to God. And I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I take a little bit of this from there, a little bit of this from there, and kind of create my own practices and rituals.
I tend to favor, and I'm not a religious person either, but I tend to favor the religions that require the most effort.
Oh, interesting.
It
Interesting.
just it's too easy to be a Christian.
Oh.
It just is. You show up you show up on Sundays and say you're a Christian.
True,
You can't
true.
do that. You can't do that to be Islamic.
Or to, like, practice Ifa or African spirituality.
Yeah,
There's
it's a lot.
initiations, there's depth to it, there's altar building, there's a lot of really, really beautiful things, yeah.
And let me qualify that a little bit because there's different levels of Christianity.
Mhm. And
So
different types. Mhm.
'cause there's like a pope. There's more than one pope.
Mm.
I want to say Greece has a pope, and I could be wrong, but
They're
there
different popes or, like, different, like, bishops or different I mean,
no,
there's really
literally.
different sects of Catholicism, which would mean that there would be, like, different, I guess, leaders of each of those sects of Catholicism.
No, but it's like an Orthodox Christian like pope.
Interesting. Okay.
I want to say that's what it's called. So yeah, like it's a lot of interesting. The story's the same though. The names
Yeah.
just change.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So just be a good fucking person.
Just be a good person. Just be
Yeah,
a good person.
all
Yeah.
the other shit. The nicest thing a stranger has done for you.
A stranger?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. What's the nicest thing a stranger has done for me? um, I think a lot of I can think of a couple examples.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was most recently, me and my son went to the beach over the summer. It was just me and him, and we were trying to leave the beach, and I was getting so frustrated. I was by myself trying to put up this tent and gather all the things and gather him to help me. And I was struggling, looking crazy out there. And another mom who was like by herself with her son came and helped me. And just in that, and like those little moments of being seen, I think have been really great. There's another example of that. A couple of years ago, it was like during the holiday season too. Me and my son were in Chipotle, and another mom was in front of me with like her couple of kids. And by the time I got to the counter, like they're like, "Oh, she paid for your food." And I was like, "Oh my God." So, yeah, probably like every like example that comes to my mind the quickest are things that have happened with other mothers. Just kind of just like seeing each other. Yeah. And I try
Oh,
to remember those things. So I do those things too.
the most fucked up part about being a grandfather is trying to put the fucking stroller back together.
I bet.
Oh,
I bet. 'Cause
oh,
it's hard for me. I'm so glad to be out of the stroller phase.
oh. Or, I didn't got the grandbaby in the car seat. They crying. 20 minutes later, I'm
Sweating,
taking
trying
this
to
shit
trying
down
to
the
put the
the
thing
freaking
down.
road.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
Oh, yo, the and I was saying this the last show. The other day I had a health scare at work and they had to take me to the hospital on a stretcher.
Mm.
Completely embarrassing. I feel so fucking old. However, what I also saw was a beautiful glimpse of humanity. The people that I work with were crying.
Mhm.
They were very vested in me being okay.
Yeah.
And some I've been a nurse for a long time, and you tend to feel undervalued.
Wow. Yeah.
And that gave me the healthiest respect for humanity I've had in a
Aw.
while.
There's still hope. Yes.
It-
Yeah.
oh my
Oh, I
God.
love that. I love that.
People do dope shit for no reason sometimes.
Amen.
So I try to celebrate that. The older you get, the more you appreciate the virtuous aspects of humanity.
Yeah. Yeah.
And shit, the other shit, I got mad at that shit 100 times already. I can't afford to do 101. You be mad at it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know. If you could do a time capsule right now, what's the biggest lesson you tell your son for his adult self?
The
I know
biggest.
I'm kind of on fire today. Like I got some shit to say.
Okay, okay. I'm like, where are you
Right.
coming out? Where are these questions coming from?
Oh, shit. I'm
Where are these
on this.
questions
I'm
coming from?
auditioning.
The biggest lesson that I could tell him as an adult is probably to trust your path.
Mm.
Trust your path. I think we all get caught up with like where we want to be and who we want to be, but the path is what gets us there. So even if you think you've made a couple wrong turns, that's okay. Everything's still working out for you.
Yo.
That's a motto that I live by, and a motto that I think has really guided the course of my life. Even when shit looks fucked up, I still know everything's working out for me because there's something for my soul to learn in this moment if I allow it.
That's a dope ass way to say it, though.
Oh, thank you.
There's something in my soul to learn. That's fucking dope.
Yeah.
Yep. Christopher Mortimer says he's 40 years old and just had his first baby 3 years ago. That is the nastiest work, bro. I'm sorry. That's
God.
Congratulations, but yo,
Why is that nasty?
it's not nasty. I don't mean it like literally. But nigga, at 40,
kind of here for it. I'm not gonna lie, because
God
I
bless
think
your soul.
the older we are, like sometimes the more patience we have and the more we've kind of understanding we have of ourselves, and
That's
maybe the
true.
better place we are to bring somebody else into the world and guide them.
I mean,
I'm
from a
not-
child perspective, the optimal situation.
Yeah.
Odds are financially you're doing pretty good. You've made all the mistakes that you're typically going to make. As a human
Mhm.
being, you evolved into the best version of you, at least mentally. I'm talking shit because I'm just an old nigga that don't want no more fucking kids. However, shout out to you, Christopher. Like that is the discipline that requires is yo. And that probably means that it just wasn't like I read up in the bar and ski, we got a kid on the way. It was probably more an
Intentional.
intentional, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I
That's
have
also really
learned personally that the intentionality, if that's a word, I think it is,
Mhm.
of choosing who to procreate with makes all the difference in the world.
Hello.
'Cause,
Hello.
man, having the wrong baby mama is like that. You might as well just go ahead and get on the hard drugs now at 25, bro.
Oh no, don't do that. Don't do that.
You might as well.
Trust the path. Don't do that. Do
Yes.
what you gotta do.
Yeah, the path is about to be full of landmines and
It
cursing.
will be well, it's just why men should be responsible with their seed, for sure, and women should be responsible with their wombs, because on the flip side, it's the same thing.
Yeah,
You got to choose. Yeah, you got to
yeah.
choose the father of your children responsibly.
You can't complain about a bum that you knew beforehand.
Yeah, yeah.
And you
And
see
I
how,
mean, sometimes people are unexpectedly bums, but
yeah.
yeah,
Generally speaking, you knew they were a bum.
yeah.
Didn't
That's
they
why
live
I'm
in the
like, wait
basement? His
until you
mama
older,
crib,
so that
you know. Yeah,
cerebral cortex is fully developed.
and that ain't no
Make those
guarantee.
kind of choices.
And I'm sorry, because I like I try to tell you, I'm generally just all over the place. Is there if you feel like there is something in your resume or in your life that I did not cover, please correct me on that now.
I mean, I think we kind of talked about all the things. Yeah, we didn't really talk about, like, I guess, like the shows that I produce. So I'm a producer as well. That's usually something I'm doing on the side, not as my day
Mhm.
job. I produce Jill Scott's podcast. I produce an amazing podcast called Talk to Your Mom. Go listen to it now. Listen on
Okay.
any audio platform, Spotify, Apple, any that you use. I also produce a podcast called Glow in the Dark with Tracy G, who is one of the co-hosts of Sway in the Morning, which is an amazing podcast, really about how to glow from physical health, mental health, spiritual health, all of those things. And Talk to Your Mom is literally about having really hard conversations with your mom, or conversations that you haven't had yet, because
Mm.
generational knowledge is wealth. So, yeah, producing content and telling stories is really the core of what I love to do.
Yo, like, to talk to your mom, people, I would love to have them on.
Yeah, you should. They're pretty incredible. You should give the show a listen. They're pretty incredible in every way.
I lost my mother 5 years ago.
I'm so sorry.
Me too, but I appreciate that. But it's better than the other way around.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I do think that an episode of being able to talk to your mother that's not here
Yeah.
is worth having.
Mm.
I know.
Mm.
I'm a deep motherfucker.
No, that's really good though. That's really good. I'm taking notes in my producer head. Because I think that's a really big topic.
I
That
think
a
so.
lot of people go through. They weren't able to have these conversations, or aren't able to have these conversations. What does that look like? You know?
Yeah, like that. I've got some. In looking back, like one thing I always, my mother was just horribly against the interweb and the Facebook. She just, had absolutely no trust in it. But I always regret not interviewing her.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really amazing. One of the episodes I'm working on now is like a generational episode, and it's with a mother, a daughter, and a grandmother. And they're asking the grandmother all these stories about her life. And it's going to be an incredible thing to have. live
Mhm.
in the interwebs. Yeah.
I know for me, my oldest grandchild asked to do
Uh-huh.
a show with me before.
Oh, you should.
Oh, we did, absolutely.
Oh, incredible.
And and
Incredible. Did
and
they interview you?
well, we had a conversation, but I let her be like the producer, if you will.
Amazing.
And so what she came up with was for me to try different vegetarian dishes. And so my ex,
Uh-huh.
she had a really good relationship with my granddaughter at the time,
Uh-huh.
and so my granddaughter had her cook the vegetarian dishes so that I
Mhm.
could try them over here, and she tried them at home, and it's the most rewarding show I've ever had.
Oh, that's so fun. That is so
Yeah,
fun.
I
That's
was just
incredible.
like she's the first one
And
in
very
my
healthy.
oh my god, she's the first one in my lineage that showed any interest in my podcasting.
Oh,
Outside of
that's
like, my
awesome.
kids will share it or,
Yeah.
sometimes they'll see somebody I'm interviewing, "Oh, damn, how'd you get so and so?" But
Yeah.
generally speaking, it's my baby,
Yeah.
and she was the
Yeah.
first one to say, "I wanna carry the baby."
Oh, that's so
I know,
special.
I
And now
know.
you said you're at a career as a nurse.
Yes.
That's incredible. So what made you want to start this Intellectually Petty Radio? And tell me about the title.
Actually, it used to be called My Skin Is My Sin.
My skin is my sin.
Mhm,
Say
and,
more. What does that mean?
it basically is a reflection of how this country treats Black people,
Mhm. Mhm.
as if
Mhm.
our skin is a sin.
Mhm.
And I was working at one of the larger hospitals in the country, and like rapping was my thing, and I had not found a high like that until I found out about Blog Talk Radio.
Jobs, you are a Renaissance man. You a nurse, you a rapper, you a podcaster.
You know what? I just talk. I'm a talker,
Mhm.
and more importantly, I'm a listener.
Okay. Important skill.
And I've always been able to have really interesting conversations with people
Oh, yeah.
because I don't necessarily have like questions. I
You're
have
just curious. You're naturally curious.
I'm naturally curious. And
Mhm.
when you say something I find interesting, I don't mind going down that rabbit hole. And I
Mhm.
will completely go against whatever the fuck you came on. My thing is, it's like what you do gets you on the show, but who you are makes it stand out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, yeah, so I cashed out my 401k. I gave
Wow.
myself, yes, it's been
Come
wasted.
on, bet on yourself. Okay.
Oh yes, it was a horrible bet. I snaked the fuck eyes. Yes, crap the fuck out. Yes, I ended up having to go back to work after about 6 months, but I couldn't stop podcasting, and this has
I
been
love
over a
that.
decade.
Wow. That's really incredible. So how did you go from Your Skin Is Your Sin to Intellectually Petty Radio?
I remember when I first started my skin is my sin. My cousin was telling me, he was like, "That's a really dope name, but it's gonna pigeonhole you."
Mhm.
And I love Black people. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just a
Mhm.
regular ass nigga too.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I never wanted it to be, and it to be like the super all things
Political feeling. Mhm.
political. Yeah, I wanted to be able to discuss things that just were interesting to the diaspora.
Yeah. Yeah.
So intellectually petty, it describes me a lot. It describes me.
So you
Some of
mad petty?
oh, you have no idea. Yes,
Intellectually.
uh, buddy, which is a fancy way of saying I'm an asshole.
Uh-huh.
I have just
Okay.
perfected it.
Petty, Betty, petty, Betty. All right. Let me stay on your good side.
So I end up having really interesting conversations with I've just everybody from Chuck D to a stripper.
Oh,
Yeah. So I just talk to people. I guess
yeah.
that's my motivation. I don't know how you didn't turn this shit around on me, but
I know.
touche.
Touche.
Oh, and shit, I didn't even realize our hour is up and shit. I'm
Uh-huh.
sorry for
No,
talking
you're
your head
fine.
off.
You're
Um,
fine.
Yo, and for the record, like the background with the couch.
Oh, you like my
Oh, I see the little green accents, the little diamonds.
the wallpaper?
Oh my god! Oh, yeah. I see the vision. You
Thank
know.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you. This has been an amazing conversation.
Oh, thank you for having me. I
No,
appreciate it.
thank you. And it wasn't that bad, was it?
No, not at all. Not
Oh,
at all. I was nervous. I was
I,
nervous. I ain't gonna lie. I was
I
nervous,
know.
but
I know. Most people are, and most people like, okay, that wasn't bad.
I'm used to being on the other end of the mic, not in front of it. So I was a little nervous, but this was great. Thank you.
Well, I try to. I want our people to look good.
You done good. You done
So
real
I
good.
appreciate that. If people want to get in touch with you, how they go about doing that?
I mean, you can hit me up on Instagram. I'm on Instagram at Amber C. Smith _. You can find me on the LinkedIn's if you want to connect professionally. Amber Smith, Hyman Health. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And you got to send me some prices because I may need to consult because I need to figure out,
Yeah,
Oh,
we can talk strategy. We can talk strategy all day. We can
Joe
talk
Joe
strategy all day.
called me, I wash your clothes, whatever,
Oh no,
whatever you
no,
need.
we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
On that
Community
note,
care.
it has been an honor and a privilege, and you have a phenomenal evening on
You
purpose.
too. You too.
All
Talk to
right.
you soon.
Talk to
Bye.
you soon. Yo, that's fucking dope. Shout out to Amber. Just a really, really, really amazing conversation. And yo, hearing mothers talk about motherhood just never gets old to me. Anyway, my name is Jobs. This has been another episode of Intellectually Petty Radio. I will be back next week, and I want to say next week we got Black Business Buzz, which we do. Actually, we have Dirty Works Auto Detailing, Melody Fresher, the Fresher brand, Juan Johnson, One Media World, and Alicia King from Serenity Health Care. And not only that, we will have Ben Casso on the show at 7 p.m. So I'll see y'all next week. Y'all have a good one, man. And have a phenomenal evening on purpose. That should sound fancy too, don't it?